Esports once again, or will they finally meet their match?
Not looking like it's going to go that far at all. Rally Esports, 3 players on the point. Now NM boys, they got to hit that left foot, right foot express.
5 kills in a row again, going for more. Pistols out.
Control to the NM boys, but they have to play picture perfect from this point forward as well. They cannot get it off.
Invert on the other one as well. Massive for Yasha, and that could very well be a slam dunk that gets them on the map.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the $2,500 KAOS Major. Today we find ourselves in winners round 4. I'm joined here by my co-caster Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing pretty fantastic. It's another beautiful day in the AWL, and I'm joined by a new caster today. For those of you guys that don't know, this is Kason's first time, so give him a nice and warm welcome, and he's got quite a lot of great matches ahead of him today. This is the KAOS Majors winners semis, and it's going to be between SoundWave Esports and SGP Syndicate.
Yeah, we got a lot of notable players here. Phantoms is the big one that stands out to me. Initially slated we had Mac, but it looks like Rupert is going to be filling in for him. But we do have the map set already. We got Karachi in the first hard point. High Rise is our follow-up in the S&D. We got High Rise Control and then Invasion and Invasion to close us out in the series if we get that far. To my understanding, it looks like we have 2 teams that have yet to drop a map here thus far in the tournament. So we should have some powerhouses here to start us off.
Yep, that is correct. Both these teams are really good, and they've got a lot of solid players. Like, I recognize pretty much every single one of these players from Challengers,
Bufundo
LANs,
too.
or anything. Yeah, Bufundo, he's pretty high-level Challengers. Rupert as well, Darksided. You will, if you guys watch the Challenger scene at all, you will 100% recognize every single one of these players. Careful, I recognize him for his crackedness and his snipingness in the search and destroys, but he does a pretty good job in the hard points as well. And if we did see a little bit of SGP yesterday, by the way, Kason, and they just completely had their way with Omet Academy. It was not even close. Their rotations were as crisp as it gets. It was on terminal, so that did skew things a little bit more towards their rotating ways. But we'll see if these guys can hold a candle to their rotational prowess.
Yeah, Terminal is one of those maps that the rotations are super important. I think in most of the maps that we find here in Modern Warfare 3, the rotations are super crucial in order to get the win. But our first map is going to be Karachi, and I think Karachi is one of the maps in this game that are a little bit more dynamic. I think you can break hills, you can get a little bit more creative as our players load in here to the lobby. We should have the game started here soon, but I'm excited to watch these matches. It is the Amateur World League, but these players that we have, these 8 players, are top of the challenger scene, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, anything about amateur, these guys, I wouldn't call them professional necessarily because they haven't quite hit the CDL yet, or at least some of them. If Mac was here, then that would... Oh,
Phantoms used to be in the Paris Legion. I think he was a sub during the Modern Warfare 2019 year, but he has been in Challengers the last couple years.
Very true. If Mac Meltz was here, then I would be changing my tune up a little bit. But these guys I would definitely label semi-pro at the very least. Up next, if you will. But
Absolutely. We'll talk about Phantoms a little bit. You know, he used to team with Gwyn, Sib, and I believe I also have that he teamed with Purge as well. So these guys are just right on the cusp of getting picked up into the league. We'll see if they can make a statement here tonight.
I mean, yeah, as good of a place as any, at least as of right now. And I mean, especially going to be looking at them when they start to go towards this LAN that's coming up in Austin, Texas. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of these players there. These guys are the ones that near, far, wherever it is, they're going to be there no matter what. I know that we're going to be seeing a lot of top-tier players, and this may be online, but I think this will give us a good indicator of how things will start going in January. The LAN's really not that far away, less than a month, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it was 22 days away.
That's correct. It is 22 days away, so might as well get a little bit of a practice run in, I guess you could say. For
yeah,
money,
try
no
to get
less.
as many reps. Try to get as many reps as possible leading up to the LAN. It is online Call of Duty, which is a little bit different than LAN as we've seen in years past, but I think in this year there's such a greater skill gap than we've seen in years past. With the higher time to kill in this game, there's a lot more opportunity for individual plays. But obviously, the rotations, as we talked about a little bit earlier, are going to be super important, especially on these hard points.
Yeah, Karachi, like you said, is going to be a little bit more of a dynamic map. There are definitely some hills where you want to be rotating super duper early. Like
That
we were just
P3.
joking, like we were just watching the invasion one between Omit and I believe it's Acrylic that was just on stream. You got to be rotating like 40 seconds, 50 seconds prior. If you don't win the initial merge, screw it. We're going to the next objective, and then you just get a full 60. This map has some hills like that. Like maybe I would say P3 can be kind of like that. P2 can be a little bit like that, but there's definitely like P1, P4, super duper dynamic. You can break those pretty simply.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I've been playing some BPL 8s. I think P4 is an underrated hill to get a setup on in this map. That Church Hill that we're talking about. I think I've seen teams pick up full 60s with a solid setup. You get the team spawning in the back. You can get a full 60 on that very easily.
Yep, definitely can. It does require a lot of posturing and pretty much 20 seconds going into the air just by trying to get a good setup. Otherwise, that's what I see a whole lot of, especially in like the pro scene where they're like, super on top of the meta. But yeah, it appears that we are still waiting for just one more player here, ladies and gentlemen. Flinched is a little bit tardy today, but while we're waiting for him, I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and follow my guy Kason over here. He's been doing a lot of stuff in casting, and he's now getting back into it. Where can they find you at, Kason?
On Twitter, just Kason Cobb. Of course, Twitch as well, Kason Cobb as well. I'm excited to be working with you guys. You guys will be seeing a lot of me this year. I'll be casting these online tournaments. Of course, I will be at that LAN in Austin next month. Very excited for that. Excited to meet everybody and excited to really learn some Call of Duty. Towards the beginning of the year, people are still figuring it out. And as the year goes on, you start to see that skill gap develop. And it looks like we do have all 8 players, so we should be getting started up here soon. But I'm excited to learn Modern Warfare 3 and continue to watch these games.
Absolutely, and if you want to find little old me, you can catch me at @comica_18 on Twitter, because @comica and @comica_ were both already taken somehow. But yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and follow AWL as well as our awesome sponsors here. It's the KAOS Major presented by NGNL for a reason, so do give both of those groups of people some love, as well as the AWL, Amateur WL on Twitter. But yeah, it does look like Flinched is in here, and we are just about ready to go. Any final remarks before we get this thing going?
Well, forgive me for my ignorance, but we do have $2,500 on the line. How is that prize pool split up? Is it a winners take all format? Is it first and second?
Oh no, we've actually got a pretty nice breakdown for the first 3 places. It's 1,750 for first, and then 500 for second, and then 250 for third. So even if you don't win first place, second place even is not all lost. You still got something to fight for.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. We do have a couple matches coming your way. After this, the winner of this series will be going up against Pulse. We saw them yesterday, absolutely dominating. They have yet to drop a map as well. You got Noisy on that team, Bink, Flames, and Dak, and it looks like we're going to be loading in here to map 1. Those are the players going to be waiting for them. Oh, unfortunately, the lobby dropped. I thought we were loading in. But we do have Pulse waiting for the winner of this series.
Yes, waiting patiently for the winner of this series. I'll see if we can get back into that lobby, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, we'll be going to a break, but when we come back, the game will actually be beginning. Do not go anywhere.
All right, you guys, welcome back. We are here in map number 1. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but two-piece from Darkside to start us off. We are here in P1. Look at the bottom side of that mini-map. Spawn still in control for SoundWave. So they're trying to fight for this P1 hardpoint.
Yep, a lot of the time going early on to SG Syndicate, they know that their opponents do have the spawn, so they're trying to give them something to fight for, a reason not to just rest on their laurels, and give Darkside potentially a reason to get around the back here. He's going to have a 1v1 coming up with Jack Kenobi, which he almost wins, just a little bit too slow on the ADS, and with that, the remaining hill time and the rotation will be secure for SoundWave.
Yeah, that's a big win out of there for Kenobi. It's going to give him the initial time here on this P2. They do have pressure towards Red as well. Kills going in favor of SGP. It looks like the break is going to be coming through here soon as well as the surge through Red's going to come by. Bafundo with one in the back. You got another player here, Mock. He's going to get bad timing, and unfortunately he's going to lose that as well. So control of this P2 hardpoint initially is going to go in favor of SoundWave Esports, and it looks like they do have the ability to push towards that P3 whenever the time comes.
Yeah, SGP Syndicate is going to be spawning that way, so their most easy route will be a little bit blocked off from that, but if they do get another good team wipe, then they could very well flip out those spawns as well. So Bafundo is going to be a little bit enticed to go for this fight because of that, but not overly extending because now his teammates are starting to die here as well. Bafundo with 2 ahead of him can't quite deal with them both at the same time, and that leaves Jack Kenobi alone to hold his last 25 seconds.
But he's able to pick up one. He's got one more player to deal with here on the scrap time. He has some help as well. He should fall. So all of this time going in favor of SoundWave Esports. They find themselves up about 45 points. It's going to looks like it'll be about 70 to 14 going in here to this P3 rotation. And the setup already in favor of SGP as they try to claw their way back into this one.
Although there was a little bit of an interesting spawning situation, it does look like it was fixed. Mock spawned clean right behind him, but it looks like they are now blocking that perfectly, so that won't be happening again. Only thing to worry about now is really Bafundo coming from that bottom side. Late rotate coming out from Flinch could catch him a little bit by surprise, but the setup from SGP is overall looking pretty fantastic. They're really going to have to overwhelm one of these guys on one of their headies in order to break through this.
Yeah, you really have to get the back of the map control in order to break this one. It's really hard. You already see Rupert. He's going to fall. Bafundo with 1. Bafundo with 2. He's going to get the time as well. Impressive break there. One more player to deal with. He gets 3. Good shit out of Bafundo.
Yeah, that was a pretty stellar break coming up from Bafundo. Pretty much doing it all solo dolo as well. Teammates were behind him, but he was just taking all these solo chows and winning all of them. Just the one-man wrecking crew, this guy. SoundWave should be able to get these last 18 seconds, putting themselves at about a full hill's worth time lead just about coming out of this. SGP will be getting a little bit of rotation, but it's not the most amazing of rotations. SoundWave will have the most of the map control. Basically got them stuck inside.
Pardon my profanity. I meant to say shot, just for the record.
Watch your profanity.
Phantom's
All
here.
good, dude.
Has 2 people sliding in. Bafundo. This guy's a 2-piece machine, sitting at 10-3 thus far. He's got the time as well for his team. Early control, all in favor of SoundWave Esports. They're 103 to 36, and they have the time taken in their favor as well.
Yep, SGP Syndicate trying to get back control over the outside of the map, but nothing really going their way. SoundWave now starting to get full control over the map in general. This could be where it starts to turn into a full 60, like you said. This is a hill that you can be deceiving, but you can get actually a lot of time off it, even though it's on paper pretty contestable. That's starting to be the case for SoundWave, at least 30 seconds, if not the rest of the 20 being gained off this.
Yeah, this is just going to be a snowball type of hill. 130 to 36 now. They got him spawning back clock, which means that they're going to have favor in the rotations. Jet Kenobi will pick up 1 over there. This has been all SoundWave thus far. SGP has got to come alive here.
Yeah, they're in quite a lot of trouble, I do have to say. They are more than 110 points down, which is something I was not expecting because
yeah,
SGP
definitely.
Syndicate is one of my favorites to win the whole tournament. But yeah, we'll see if that continues to be the case. They are going to be getting on this P5, which is pretty much one of the more contestable hills, so it's not one you want to be depending on for hill time by any means, but yeah, it's if they can play their cards right, if they can start getting some good streakage going on here with Rupert in the close quarters, then they can still get a decent amount of time off of it.
Yeah, even in this first week of the CDL we saw last weekend, we saw a few comebacks on this map. In particular, NYSL versus LAG coming back with a 248 to, I believe it was like 180 scoreline, but that's not something you want to rely on as the break will come in here for the scrap time, but we're going to go all the way back to P1. Looks like the setup's going to be in favor of SGP. We'll see if they're able to hold it down.
Yep, enticed to go for this last second chow here as well. Darkside doesn't want to be getting chowed out for these P2 spawns earlier than the P1 actually starts. But yeah, it looks like SoundWave is going to be losing control over P1, but getting control over the P2 spawns, which is pretty good for them. They can go and take this hill back pretty much anytime they want to. They've still got a pretty solid lead over their opponents. Darkside gonna look to get these spawns back. Careful, the only linchpin holding them back from getting these P2 spawns as well, and really starting to get back into this game.
Yeah, kills finally starting to come in favor of SGP, which is what you need here on this second rotation of hills. Got some fights over here at clock. Mock's gonna fall. Trey's coming back and forth, but all this time is just being soaked up by SGP as they're gonna eclipse that 100-point mark, make this about a 60-point game.
Yeah, finally starting to get a little bit close. At least less than a hill's worth of time between these two teams now. Oh, almost a full 60 being gained by SGP Syndicate. Not a hill, again, that you'd be expecting to get a whole lot of time off of, but SGP Syndicate very impressively going to be getting the majority of the hill time off this. Unfortunately, SoundWave, they did play their cards right. They do get the last second break without losing control over the spawns, which is exactly what you want. Darkside should be seeing that gun from around the corner, fries him alive, and now there's two on the objective looking to get the pinch play, but it is going to be a little bit mistimed, and now the full frontal assault will be coming in from Darkside. Getting the closed angle, should be able to fry a Jet Kenobi there, and does indeed do so.
Yeah, Darkside with a slow start in this game, but he's moving on the map. He's on a 3 streak, make it 4. Trying to stay alive here on this P2 hardpoint. Keeping the time white for the moment. He needs help from his teammates, but looks like the Surge will come through the back alley. That's going to be 5 for Darkside. And it looks like the control is going to be in favor of SGP. On a 5 streak, Darkside's going to get this time, and this is good for SGP. They should be able to get themselves just about even.
Yeah, honestly, dude, color me impressed. I was starting to get a little bit down. I was going into a little bit of a doomer mindset for SGP when they were upwards of 100 points down, but they are really starting to close the gap and making some not super easy breaks to make. And Mock opening up the door. Yeah, they know he's here now, so the jig is up. He's going to try and take as many with him on the way as is humanly possible, but it's only going to be one. Either way, buying some precious seconds for SGP Syndicate to get the setup.
Something we definitely see with these top challenger players that we don't necessarily see with the amateur players we cast here is that the regain ability, the ability to realize that the game's not over. We can still fight through this as the kills are going to come through on rotation for SGP, and that's 2 hills in a row where they've gotten the majority of the time, and they look to do so again here. A team kill's going to come through for Careful. Darkside's playing this scrapyard area. He's got another player to deal with. Flinch will pick that one up, but all this time is going in favor of SGP as they're almost about to tie this one up.
Yeah, they can tie it off this hill here if not a single second is contested for, and Mock is going to be the major decider of that, getting forced off the angle on the outside. Rupert now going to have to supplement his angle, and nicely placed nade from Jet Kenobi will be knocking him off. Should come in with a flood now. Yes, indeed. SoundWave going to be flooding onto the objective with Flinched and Careful giving him a little bit of nice overwatch. SGP Syndicate going to be spawning away, so Phantom still being here will go for a little bit of last second shells just to deny as much time as is humanly possible, and also buy some time for Syndicate to set up on a hill that they are really gonna need a lot of hill time off of. SoundWave can pretty much win off of breaks at this point.
Yeah, we talked about how this P4 hardpoint can be a money hill if you get a proper setup. SGP looks to do just that. Early time ticking in their favor. This top church is going to be won by Darkside. That's a big win. This top side of the church is so important to hold this hill. He's got another player to deal with. That's another for him. 16 and 12 is where he currently sits on a 2 spree. He's going to spot these players off spawn potentially, but he's going to elect to just play his life this time. Going in favor of SG Syndicate. Just 9 seconds away from taking this lead back. Doesn't look like the break's going to come in initially out of SoundWave. Got another player up top. That is Bafundo with the sub. He's able to pick it up. 15 and 6 for him. He had a hot start, but he's starting to slow down. Rupert with 2. Going to get traded out. It looks like the scrap time should go in favor of Syndicate as they look to take this lead here going into the P5.
Yeah, for the first time in the entire game, I believe SGP Syndicate will be taking the lead going into this P5. This could be for all the marbles. They've got a really solid rotation, and Rupert Skywalker going to be screening them off in the middle of the map. If you want to get to this objective,
yeah,
you are going to have to go through him. Help going to be coming from Mock. The cutoff is going to be gross. It is going to be great. He's got 2 of them down already. Well-placed position here from SGP, forcing Bafundo to take a really long route, but he's going to get there just about now alone, but he's still going to try and do it by himself. Darkside is even there as well. They know where they're forcing him, and they're putting them through the meat grinder, the funnel. Careful takes down 2, and going in for a 3rd, gets him as well, and gets Flinch onto the objective. The break is good. The win is no longer there for SGP, but it could be here off this next objective.
Yeah, it looks like SGP will lead this scrap time, so we're going to be just about even going into our third rotation of pills, and this will probably be where it ends here on P1. You're going to have to look at that rotation. You got number 3 on your mini-map. That'll be Phantoms playing that back clock tower, pardon me. The spawn's going to come up back B street. This is a big win out of Phantoms if he can find 1 or 2 here on the rotation. He is able to find 1. Another player beneath him, chicken coop. Yeah, we'll see what he can do.
Doesn't have a lot of time to do this, though. Carefully, gotta hurry up. Does take down 1. He's gonna have to beeline it over the top of this rooftop in order to kill Darkseid off the objective. We'll have a good angle, but he's getting caught on the wall. Picture perfect timing, though, and the break is good. Once again, full team wipe, stunned out, and Careful looking to go for the cutoff. He's gonna get cut off himself, though. Still time for SGP Syndicate to go for this last second break. Phantom is getting a little bit caught out, but coming from behind, Rupert Skywalker not going to be expected. Like the Spanish Inquisition takes them all down, and that will be it. SGP Syndicate from behind will take the dub.
What a comeback from SGP Syndicate. We saw him down about 70, 80 points at the beginning of that one, but composure is there, and they'll take our map 1 here in winners round 4.
Yeah, 70 points isn't even doing the deficit justice, dude. They were 110 points down at the biggest margin there, but still making for an even more impressive comeback. These guys, not all of them were even positive before the game ended, but I mean, hey, it's not about the amount of kills that you get. It's about winning the game in total. So if you can go negative and win the game, then you're just doing good as we come back to our beautiful faces here.
Yeah, Rupert Skywalker, 25 and 19 to close out map number 1. He had a lot of big plays there as SGP will take map number 1. We're going into map number 2. We got High Rise S&D. A lot of explosions on this map, a lot of things you got to be careful of. But personally, I really like the way High Rise S&D plays in this game.
Yeah, I like it too. There's a lot of, I don't know. I've seen this map be played a couple of different ways. Super duper organized and rigid, or complete and utter chaos in Call of Duty. It's really no in between, and I'm curious to see which one these guys opt for. Do they just go, you know, just go ham, fly right on in by the seat of their pants, see if they can just win the trading card game, or do they just set up, try and play super duper slow on the defensive side, just play in the back left side of the map, just jump up and watch for someone to come down from steps? Yeah, I think it can really only go one of those two ways.
I think it's really you heavily rely on your subs in order to make plays here on the map. I want to keep an eye on Bufundo. He started off really hot there in map number 1, but slowed down as the game progressed and ultimately did choke that map number 1. We'll see how he performs there in the S&D.
Yeah, we will see. And there's something else that I'm curious to see if we do being pulled out. I haven't really seen a whole lot of snipers being pulled out recently on...
Well, they're GA'd.
They are GA'd now? Oh, that would explain it now. I must have missed that one. But
yeah,
either way, yeah. I guess that we'll be missing something out for Careful, because he was a really solid sniper back in the day. But yeah, he's definitely a player that can watch things from a pretty good distance. So I'm pretty much expecting him to get a lot of good intel from that bottom side of the map, especially on the defensive side, like I was telling you about. Putting Careful in a position like that, he is just so good at gathering you intel and just playing super careful, getting kills. He's definitely something that they're going to have to be looking out for, and one of the reasons why they were, I would say, losing towards the end is because he was doing a pretty good job in that department. Obviously, on the objective, Rupert Skywalker was putting the works to him because they were forcing the close quarters gunfights. But yeah, Careful, definitely going to be someone to look out for on this.
Well, we are going to go to a short break here as we set up the lobby for map number 2. If you just now tuning in, map number 1 is going to go to SGP. They're going to find themselves 1-0 here in winners round 4. Whenever we come back, we'll have High Rise S&D. All right, guys, we are back here with map number 2. We are on High Rise S&D. Starting off here with Careful. On your main map's going to spot a player B Street. Stun's coming down, but just intel gained from both sides. Rupert will draw the first blood. He's got the bomb as well. It looks like they're going to be trying to work this B bomb site.
Yep, stuns out, guns out, and in they go. Looking to get another one down for this guy. Profundo does take down one, but ooh, trading card game once again. KAOS personified. Careful, the guy was saying you gotta depend upon for this one. Looking to take a fight with Phantoms, but he's gonna look to skirt on away from that one. Should be able to, but unfortunately for him, he will have to make his way back over there towards the bomb. Can't escape those bullets to the back, unfortunately for him, so SGP Syndicate will be winning the first round.
Yeah, action-packed first round. It looked like all the action went down in about 10 seconds.
I know.
And everybody was dead. Ultimately, in the final kill cam, Mock will pick up Careful there. And round number 1 going in favor of SGP Syndicate. If you're just now tuning in, map number 1 as well went in favor of SGP Syndicate. They found themselves up 1-0 here. In the series, in the map.
Yeah, I was honestly a little bit shocked that SGP Syndicate won it by the end there, not because I didn't think they were going to win going into the series, but because they were 110 points down for those of you guys that missed it for a large portion there, but still managed to find the win. We'll see if SoundWave can do a from behind victory of their own, as we do see Flinch sitting here waiting amidst the smoke. Seeing the guy come up the ladder though, breaking the smoke, but unfortunately, can't land a single shot. But fun to inject Kenobi with the cleanup though.
Yeah, that was a great smoke, able to break his way onto the site. And looks like that bomb's going to get placed down bottom mid. So even if Phantoms is able to pick up these kills, which ultimately won't be able to, that bomb was in a bad spot for him. 2 rounds in favor of, pardon me, SoundWave will respond. Back 1-1 here. Almost got the break in the B site. That was an impressive smoke from Dark Side, but the trades went in favor of SoundWave.
Yeah, so pretty much what happened there is as soon as they tried to get that fight on the objective, they were so focused on, I think it was Profundo, and no, sorry, it was one of the guys in the objective there from SoundWave. They were just so focused on him that both of the players, that the other two just collapsed in from the side and shot them up. So it was really good distraction dance coming in there from Careful. Gonna try and hit that nade spot on the explosive barrel on the left side of the map, but not quite gonna be hitting anyone. Getting a little bit of a stun check on the guy on the far right, so knows that he can't extend too far that way. But looking for someone to peek their head up just a little bit too far in the middle of the map.
Careful, trying to play first blood here. He is going to find Mock in the back. So now a 3v4 in favor of SoundWave. Make it a 2v4 as another kill is going to come in from Kenobi. This bomb site should be getting worked here. Darkside's going to respond with one of his own, but they know where he's at, so the trade should come through. Now all down to Rupert Skywalker now in a 1v2, and that bomb should be getting laid here at B any second now.
Yeah, it seems like they're anticipating a chow coming out from Profundo, not really going for the bomb plant just yet, not feeling that the coast is clear. Maybe thinking of a rotation here as well, but that'll be playing right into the hands of Rupert. Watching the rotation here, going to be smoking out the objective as well. Ooh,
got a player in the back over here, careful. He is going to spot him, so the intel is gained. If he can go around here real quick, he might be able to catch this player off bomb. Doesn't look like it, as the bomb will go down, so 40 seconds to work with if you're Rupert. We're going to hop on here with him. He's got a player right to his right. Is he going to pick him up? He is. Now a 1v1. Rupert versus Careful. 30 seconds to work with. The Chow's going to come through and not able to pick up the kill. Almost impressive stuff out of SGP, but SoundWave will take round number 3 and go up 2-1 here in map number 2.
Yeah, caught him while he was still weak. That was the goal there for Careful. He's like, all right, if I let this guy get back up to full HP, there's a very high possibility that he'll beat me because he's got a sub and I've got an AR here. So just sliding on in while he still can. Was getting the health regen a little bit, but not back up to full, so he was still able to win with the trade out kill.
I thought watching it he was going to be able to pick up that kill, but ultimately he's going to go in favor of SoundWave.
I think if the Chow was just like a second later, he would have gotten back up to full and probably would have been able to win that fight.
Yet to see a dedicated A play. We'll see if they work with it here, as it looks like they elect to go bottom mid. This seems to be the standard offensive strategy for these teams. Go bottom mid and jump up onto this B site. Probably one of the safer routes that you can take. He's got a player here on his left. That's going to be Flinch playing in those elevators. He's going to spot him. Able to pick up 1. That's 2 for Flinch. Big plays from him as gets the bomb down on the B site.
That is massive 1-for-2 trade there from him, and he knows that he's got the bomb here as well. I do believe he can be fairly certain of that. Another player going down Phantoms, and that leaves a lot on the shoulders of Mach. He's going to have to get triple the amount of kills he has now. I guess quadruple, if I'm doing math correctly. But Mach coming up the outside of the map. Jet Kenobi not going to be seeing this. But, oh, does get the snap on in time. So SoundWave Esports will be able to get yet another round in a row. Haven't lost a single one since that first round.
Yeah, their defenses look solid. They seem to have all the lanes covered. Let's see if some unorthodox plays come out of the offensive side to make a play. Jet Kenobi sitting at 5-2.
Yeah, they have one. They're pretty much the only team to win an offensive side as well. It is one, but we'll see if SGP Syndicate can make some adjustments so it doesn't make it 2 attacking side wins now for SoundWave Esports. They've been pretty orthodox in their setups, playing a lot off of their own intel and trading off of that. And SGP Syndicate have been a little bit more slow on their trade outs, getting a little bit caught stranded and flinched, getting first blood, no trade out. Once again, great kill.
3v4 situation here for Syndicate. Another child's going to come through. Rupert is going to try to play his life. Kenobi will clean him up with the nade. So now a 2v4 situation. SGP with their backs against the rope. Bill's going to come in for Dark Side. He's got another one tagged up, one shot. Bufundo's going to try to play his life. It doesn't look like the child's going to come through, so he should be safe. Careful, does have the information on Dark Side, though. We'll see if he's able to play a pick here.
Yep, and he's going to be looking for Mach as well. Sees Darkside and Mach calling out both of them. That is all the intel you need. Like I said, this guy's really good at getting intel, and he calls out the rotate here for his team. It's going to be free as can be. Going to be watching their own rotate from their own spawn, calling it out for his teammate, I'm sure, flinched. Actually, no one's going to be watching this route from Darkside. This could be cause of a little bit of catastrophe as he takes down one already. Looking for the second, but they both collapse on him.
Number 6 all the way across the map. That'll be Mach. Got this World War II iron sight on. Don't see a lot of players running that, but it looks like Mox likes it. He's got a lot to deal with here with 20 seconds. The time is against him. And it looks like this should be a round for SoundWave as long as they don't choke this.
That could be a pretty massive choke, and a choke it will not be, as SoundWave Esports gets yet another round in their favor. 4 in a row now from them, and if you really notice, I think you can see it in this round in particular, how they're winning these rounds. A lot of just solo chows coming out from the guys on the outside of the map. They know that these guys are going to be chowing on the left side of the map near propane and stuff like that by steps, and so they just are like, all right, let's 2v1 this guy, nade him out, and they're getting a lot of great first bloods like that. In SGP Syndicate, they're not really in any positions to get the trade out kills. It's a lot of 1v2 situations for them.
Talked about the highlight players a little bit before the series for SGP Syndicate. Phantoms was the one that stood out to me. He's currently sitting at 0-4. Not a great start. He's going to look to try to get himself. Let's stop on here with him and see what angles he's working. Does get the information on B-bomb. Looks like it is going to be a slower play out of SGP. Shot's going to come down. No bloods drawn by either team thus far. He just gets out with his life. Just trying to fall into one. Bufundo's able to pick up the first blood, so now a 3v4 in favor of SoundWave Esports.
Once again, another solo shell that's not able to be traded out by anyone on SGP Syndicate, and it's going to be costing them a first blood once again. They really do have to tighten that up if they want to be winning this one. Cooper Skywalker going to be looking for another one in the middle of the map, but the trade will be there for SoundWave, 1-for-1. When you're already man up, you take those every single day of the week. Bomb is going to be down, which will force a little bit of force them to go back for it, eating up a little bit of their limited resources in the time department, knowing where another one is, but it's a bait. Mach can be drawing things even.
3v3 now. That bomb does need to be worked by our offensive team. Bufundo looks like he just got really good timing on the Phantoms. Phantoms with the turn and burn, not able to pick it up as Bufundo will pick up another one on this round, 6-3. Talked a little bit about the first map. Pardon me, talked a little bit about this map, about how important it is for your subs to be doing those entry kills. All in favor of SoundWave now, a 1v1. Let's see if he can pick it up.
Bufundo just waiting for the bomb to be planted. He knows that this guy could pretty much be going anywhere at this point, so he just wants confirmation where he's going to be at. He's anticipating him dropping down low, and this really benefits Bufundo. He sees him as well, puts some shots on him, but it's a little bit too hasty. Mach now going to be getting the superior angle and drops him like it's hot. SGP Syndicate finally breaking the win streak for SoundWave.
Maybe a little bit of lack of trigger discipline there. If he would have just chased him up the steps, maybe a different round, but Bufundo is going to fall. He did found 2 in that round, but SGP finally coming alive here later in the game. Still find themselves down 3-2 though. 4-2, pardon me. Phantoms 0-5 still yet to get on the board. Tough scenes from him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Mock doing quite a lot in that round for his team, though. 3 kills, almost getting the ace, but I think it was Rupert Skywalker that pretty much denied him that one. And ooh,
What?
he is going to be dying again, but this time by his own hand. Dropping off the edge of the map, I guess, trying to hit a route, but hitting the pavement instead.
Somehow still winning this round is SGP, is Flinch now in a 1v3. Gonna be hitting a sneaky route. The bomb is down as well, and more than likely that intel is gained for SGP, so they know the bomb is down with just a minute to work with. Flinch has got to make some big plays here, and he's not going to spot Mock, so Mock will pick him up. SGP just about tying this one up. Another round in their favor as they are able to win another defense. Really is on the offensive teams in order to win rounds in this game.
Now, Kaysen, is there some glitch I don't know about where if you jump off the edge of the map, the entire enemy team just throws and dies? I really don't know about that one. Obviously, just a little bit of a joke going on there.
I wonder, did he blow himself up with one of the canisters? Because there is like a weird thing in this game where the canisters will do more damage to you depending on how far away you are. I don't know if he fell off the map or if he blew up a canister.
What it looked like to me, based on his death position, was he got a little bit too close to the edge, tried to go along the bottom side of the map, and died.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that scaffolding area. Darkside's going to pick up 2 with the AR. Kenobi will trade out with Rupert Skywalker, but big plays as they try to push over here towards this A site. Looks like they're going to backtrack just a little bit, but you got that one player playing that scaffolding area we were just talking about. That's going to be Phantoms. Didn't fall off the map this time.
Yep.
Kenobi just watching these A crosses. Looks like SGP's trying to find another player to fall into their lap, but with the setups from SoundWave, they're just going to be playing their bomb sites. They have both of them covered. Kenobi can call that cross to A. Flinch can call the cross to B. Looks like finally that bomb's going to be working towards that A side as Kenobi will pick him up, even this one up 2v2. Information gain onto Flinch, but he is going to get out with his life, so initially looked like a good round for SGP, but now SoundWave in control.
Oh, and Darkside looking for a peek on the Jet Kenobi. Going to be finding Flinch instead. Jet Kenobi going to be going for the counter shell, but oh, Darkside preempts it, knowing exactly where he is. Bomb plant should be coming down pretty quickly here now. Sees Darkside, but the bomb is going down. With plenty of time left remaining, Jet Kenobi, they know exactly where he is, and all they have to do is watch his most common route. Darkside knows exactly where he's coming from, putting some shots on him, and Jet Kenobi in a very unfavorable position. Gonna try his damnedest, but Phantom finally gonna be opening up a kill, and it will net them an even Stevens round count.
Yeah, I love that play out of Darkside. You'd see a lot of players just hold that angle and try to play that kill into the back-to-back, but as soon as they had that player, Jet Kenobi one shot, immediately you saw the rotation come in towards that B site, and they got the bomb down, shot together, and Phantoms, as you mentioned, finally getting on the board here. I believe he's sitting at 1-6 currently.
Yeah, just barely preventing the James Bondening of Phantoms here.
Well, if you want to come alive at the end of the map, you got to. It's better than never.
Yep.
Once again, we will see this offensive team push towards the bottom middle of the map. That'll be Bufundo, the entry stub for this squad. Every single round, you see the bomb carrier go down there. We'll see if that's something one teams pick up on as the year progresses.
Yep, this time though, SGP Syndicate bullying very well for the outer lanes. Great usage of the util to get themselves control over that. Bufundo now not going to be getting as much help as he would necessarily like. Yeah, he's got some Overwatch, but if he wants to extend anywhere past this, he will have absolutely zero help. Careful trying to change that, but there's plenty of counter angles here as well. SGP Syndicate, from a positioning perspective, are looking pretty solid.
Phantoms with 1. 3v4 situation as you have Bufundo pushing up through this bottom middle of the map. Might be able to make a play on this Phantoms player right behind him. See if the shot comes through. He is able to spot him. Now a 2v3 situation. Bomb still in hand for Bufundo as he's hitting routes here. He's got one player right above him. Take a look at that mini-map. You got number 8, Rupert Skywalker, on top Propane. He's going to be an issue for this squad if they try to get the bomb down.
Darkside not quite going to be an issue, but like you said, Rupert will be the one. Bufundo going to try and bypass that, get up close and personal. Almost one bullet was all that it takes for him to win that one. Bach going to be on top of the shed and will, I believe, net himself some streaks as well as the lead for SGP Syndicate.
Yeah, once again, we see SGP Syndicate fighting their way back into these games. If you're just now tuning in, map number 1, they were down, what do you say, 130 points?
110, yes.
110 points. And they clawed their way back into that Karachi hardpoint now on match point here of map number 2 in high-rise S&D. Initially found themselves down, I believe it was 4-2. Take a look at the scoreboard here. Phantom sitting at 2-7. Doesn't matter. His team's winning the rounds. 9-7 from Jet Kenobi. You see him playing those power positions on the map.
Yep, SGP Syndicate with 4 rounds in a row now, looking to make it 5. As they're going for a play to A, getting a little bit stalled out, and Careful should be able to get some easy reads on these guys here with that just jump up position. It is a penetrable wall, so he does have to be a little bit careful with how available he makes himself. Bufundo going for a little bit of a cheeky flank, but gets exploded by Darkside in the meantime. And so that does leave SoundWave Esports on the precipice of losing this S&D as well, and a player down.
Darkside's already worked his way into this middle of the map. I like this spot for him. He can go through the back, or he can go up those steps. Flinched has this cross to the B-bomb. Both teams don't want to give up a life here. But it is going to be on the offensive squad of SGP to break into this site and plant the bomb. 35 seconds to work with, just as I mentioned. Darkside's going to be hitting the backside here. He's got one player. It looks like Jet Kenobi's not going to spot him. So another kill in favor of SGP as they found themselves on the verge of winning this map number 2.
Oh, just as he checked the back corner. Flinched, really trying his damnedest, and oh, he's doing so good. Manages to live as well. There's no way. Careful. Now with the big chip on his shoulder to go ahead and stop this bomb plant. He's not going to get on the angle in time to stop the plant. Might be able to get him off of it, though, but oh, just can't quite get it. Darkside just a little bit too oppressive with the positioning. And now 35 seconds and a dream for Careful. He's hitting the route. Phantoms, they're still thinking that he could be coming from the opposite side, but Careful taking the longer route. It's risky time-wise, but it might just pay off if he's able to catch both of them.
Yeah, you mentioned the time. Just 20 seconds and it's continuing to tick. He needs to get 2 kills before he makes this happen. Careful, having to force the action here. Can't be too careful. Spot the player highly stepped. Shot's going to come down. He's able to pick up 1. Can he get the second? No, Phantoms will clean that one up. And map number 2 will be in favor of SGP Syndicate as Phantoms gets the kills that he needs to late in the game. Impressive stuff out of SGP to claw their way back into that map number 2.
I know, it really has been that kind of night for SGP. You get knocked down, but then you get right back up again. Like, seriously, they were 110 points down in the hard point, and then there were 4 points down in the search and destroy, and then they just come straight on back and win it. You really can never count these guys out. It is a mentality diff, I guess you could say, as we come back to the caster cams. Ladies and gentlemen, SGP Syndicate, they are really, really on their game tonight.
I don't know if you saw that, but Darkside, he sat at 11-8 in the map, but damage per round, he had 248 damage per round. Very, like, she was surpassing by like 90 damage points per round anybody else in the lobby. Impressive stuff out of Darkside. He is their entry sub. He was able to pick up a lot of kills there for him in that map number 2. Map number 3, we're heading back to High Rise here in the control.
Yeah, I have actually not casted this map yet in Control. I've only seen it a few times. I know that people they were on the Invasion, and then they were on the Karachi Spree, and now that I think that everyone's gotten a little bit sick of both maps, we're getting to the point where they're like, all right, well, let's see if we can make High Rise our map. The meta has sort of been set as to who's good at these other maps, but no one was really good at High Rise yet. We'll see if we can make it ours.
Well, from the little bit that I've seen of High Rise Control, it is a super, super slay-heavy map. You get these teams setting up spawn traps on both sides if you're able to get 4 down. We'll see which team's able to capitalize on that going into map number 3.
Yep. And I think we were just going to cut it to a little bit of a break as we do get started up here. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been a really close series despite the fact that it is 2-0 in the hands of SGP. So honestly, I'm just waiting for the moment that these guys finally start finding a way to finish the dinner. But will they be able to do it on this next map before it's too late? Find out after the break.
SoundWave Esports find themselves on the brink of getting sent down to the losers bracket. They're here in map number 3 on high-rise control. SGP up 2-0 in the series. Rupert, told you, is my player to watch here in map number 3. He's going to start off with 2.
I was about to say, he's your guy, you called it, and he is going absolutely ham already. 3 kills in a row, and that could very well be a spawn trap. Darkside, yep, he's watching the window, and Rupert's going to get up close and personal. He's going for more. He's bloodthirsty, getting a little bit too close to the sun there, but either way, SGP still in a really, really great position to start things off.
Jet Kenobi trying to even up the lives. Those are finally going in favor of SoundWave. The subs try to work through to this B site. Profundo is able to pick up a few. Another player to deal with is Phantom. Test is going to be stuck here. Phantoms will win that one. Had a rough SMD.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, you're good, man.
Okay, Flinch gonna try and fly on in, very low health, but got a little bit of support behind him. Knows where Phantoms is, but knowing it doesn't always help when you're dealing with a player like Phantoms. Trade out kill will be there though, and at least they're not spawn trapped anymore, but still no closer to a tick.
Yeah, all evened up in the live count. Trades going back and forth. Top
Oh,
propane
no!
Jet Kenobi will fall off the map. Good shots out of him anyways, though. Finally, this offense is going to hop onto this B side as the spawn's going to be coming back from SGP. A couple kills from Flinch is able to break him in. With just 20 seconds left, this B side is your go-to play to get that extra minute of time.
Yep, and Flinch gonna have to go huge. Yet does have a tick, which is better than what we thought in the beginning based on that spawn trap, but yeah, still would like to get a little bit more than that. Gonna get shot clean in the back by your guy, Rupert Skywalker. Has been getting brought back down to earth a little bit, judging by his KD, but doesn't really matter. Hitting the flank, these guys trying to go for the other objective, and then just swinging right back on over. Bufundo trying to get at least one more tick here. Guy on the objective and knows it, and he will try his best, but Darkside putting him on skates. That antenna there really saving him.
Yeah, that should be all she wrote for round number 1. SGP is going to take that one off the back of our Darkside. That was a massive play there. I mean, more than likely you would have saw him close out that round anyways, just because they only had 1 tick on that B site, but impressive stuff from Darkside to get that turn and burn.
Yeah, it pretty much sets the tempo and the pace for the entire rest of this map. If you're going to want to be doing anything on this map, you're going to have to start off just as strongly as these guys did. Keep them in their spawn, and 1 tick is the thing to beat right now. On paper, just without knowing the map, I would say, oh yeah, they could definitely get more than 1 tick. These guys are SGP Syndicate, but I don't know. It just really does depend on this initial merge if Rupert Skywalker can get them some awesome first bloods and a full team wipe again.
Well, if we can, let's hop on the dark side. He's been the entry sub for this team, this whole series. Got an AR in hand, actually, at the moment. But first skill is going to go in favor of SGP as they try to work into this B site. You got 1 player top is going to kill himself, actually. Careful. Caution ahead. Kill's going to be going back and forth as this B site is contested. You got Jet Kenobi with the AR. Is he able to pick up the kill? That's a good big 2-piece out of him as he's able to wind this one down, make 3.
We got 4 kills in this life for Jet Kenobi, and the tick will be cleared. Looking for Phantom, just really trying to finish him off there, but flinched. I think will be running right up to him and getting the kill. Not going to be a spawn trap just yet, just because they are able to break out through that bottom side of the map. Flinch going to be getting killed off that angle, and killed off the angle once again, leaving Careful all alone with the enemy flooding in.
He's able to pick up 1, though. He's going to get traded out, so control of the B site will be in favor of SGP Syndicate, already eclipsing that 1 tick mark. SoundWave holding pre-aims, but all this time is going in favor as the nades will come through. Finally some kills as well for SoundWave, and it's going to be all alone to Mock here on the B site. Continuing to get this time, he's got 2 ticks at the very least.
Yeah, already doing better than SoundWave, even if they don't get a single other tick in this mode. Sorry, in this round, excuse me. But yeah, it very well could end up with them getting more than that. I'm serious. I think that they really could. SoundWave has not been able to spawn trap them effectively once. SGP did it their first try. That, to me, is a little bit of a worrying differential, but we'll see if they can keep things at least a little bit good, even without the spawn trap. Darkside going to be getting some great control over the helicopter platform here, and it seems like SoundWave is going to try and contest them here for A.
You got 1 player on heli steps. Darkside's going to have to work with. He's going to get stunned and cleaned up the middle. So Phantom's last alive. He's going to die. Trades coming back and forth, but it looks like this should be a good response round for SoundWave. Got a little bit iffy there when they had the 4 down, but ultimately they're able to defend these sites and take this round number 2.
Oh,
spoke
don't.
too soon. Spoke too soon.
Don't say that just yet. Rupert Skywalker will see what he can do by himself a little bit halfway towards his tick. Fry's careful from across the map, but unfortunately there's just too many people there. And SoundWave, they will be behind on ticks, but still pretty good considering the amount of pressure they were under, in my opinion.
Yeah, good recovery from them. They did get the 4 down and were able to get some map control there. The defense definitely the favored side, but once again, as I was talking with you a little bit about before the series, this is such a kill heavy map. You get 4 down, you can get map control and get them in a spawn trap, spawning in their back building, and you can really dominate teams. But we've not seen that from either side thus far.
Yep, we'll see if SoundWave can avoid getting insta-spawn trapped this time around, as they're going to be making their way towards the bottom side of the map, getting a little bit stunned out before the trophy system can go down, but flinched, shaking it off, going to be getting the first blood onto Phantom.
We got Darkside here on the point. Let's see if he's able to make some plays. Mock will cover him. Still alive on the point. He's got some help as well. Mock finds 2. So all kills going in favor of SGP here on the offense. They're hunting down this player bottom mid. I don't think he's going to get the timing.
No
he was reloading.
way!
Mock was able to pick him up.
Missed opportunity for Bufundo, and now Flinch, they're going to try and double dip here. I kind of like this strategy. They're trying to make their opponents force between the 2 objectives. They know that they got a little bit of a wipe on them. They're not going to be able to instantly respond. And oh, it actually also gives them a good control over the middle of the map here, Crossfire, but unfortunately not going to be quite utilized as such. Still not a single tick despite all their good work. Maybe would have been better off just stacking the 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you really just get that kill on a site right there on the Phantoms, as Phantoms will turn on them, but if you get that kill there, you maybe open up the map a little bit more so you can make a play. The dead silence is popped. You got Bufundo working bottom mid here. I'd like to see him hit a route. Yeah, I like this. Hit the route through their bottom base. Start playing some kills in the back and make some space for your teammate to work. Flint's trying to find another one. Careful is going to clean up Phantom. All kills. Looks like they're going in favor of SoundWave. They should be able to respond here and win round number 3, pardon me.
Yep, and Bufundo with this close angle here as well. This is huge. This is what you need in order to win this one. Bufundo 1, Bufundo 2, huge. But still, somehow, some way, they're getting off a B. Money nade from Mock is going to be stopping the ticks and restarting the clock, but Bufundo's still buying them all the time that they need. The burns are going to be very slow, and these nades are disgustingly good. You kill 2 of your own, but at least you're going to be getting them off.
Yeah, but this progress is still going over here at B. I like that play from Bufundo. He gave his teammates some time to just some free ticks over here at the B site. Just 20 seconds to work with. They're close to closing out B. That's got to be the play if you're SoundWave here. Darkside's going to fall. You got one more player in Phantoms that's going to be defending that B site. Kills coming in from Mock, Rupert cleaning it up as well. So scary stuff if you're SGP, but it looks like they should be able to take round number 3.
Yes, they will be able to weather the storm on the defensive side, but that was much, much, much better from SoundWave. And I do believe that's actually overall going to be evening up the ticks. They got 3 on this one, and their opponents got 2 in the last one, so technically they are going to be just a little bit ahead. Their opponents will have to get 2 ticks, 3 ticks in order to get the final side.
Yeah, I believe it was Bufundo early on in that round that was over on that A site, and whenever they split the sites, I think if he would have picked up a kill or 2, we could have been looking at a much different round, but take a look at the scoreboard here. Pretty much even across the board. No players having a tough time here in map number 3. As we hop on here with flinched off the start. On this defensive side.
Yep, trophy system going to be going down pretty quickly. Not going to get stunned off the angle this time, but SGP Syndicate are still going to have a pretty good opportunity to break on in here. Flinched. Ooh. Solid stalwart hold there, but unfortunately they do lose their mid-map control. We're trying to go back for Rupert Skywalker, still weak from earlier, and now SGP Syndicate going to be going for the Doom stack, looking to get this as fast as is humanly possible.
Yeah, you got a 4 down there for SGP. They're trying to set up the spawn trap. You got Bufundo working out the backside here, but that tick is going fast over there at that B side. I don't think they're going to be able to stop it, so finally we'll see a point captured here in this control. As Bufundo already pushed up over here on this green tarp, he can cause some issues for SGP as he's not going to be able to pick up Phantoms quite yet. He will clean them up ultimately. A couple kills going in favor of SoundWave, but now it's all down to that A site. We'll see how their defense looks here.
If it would be a lot better if they didn't have Mach all the way back here, and it will be a lot better now that he is dead. So we'll see what they can do here. It's 3 ticks being lost already, and the time going to be extended. Not a good position for SoundWave to be in pretty much at all. They've got 90 seconds still left to go, and SGP still plenty of lives, plenty of opportunity. And SoundWave are still trying desperately hard to get the spawn trap, but it's not quite going to be there in time. The cutoff is not going to be there in time, as all the players have managed to escape it. And he dies as well.
Yeah, but even just being over there, yeah, if he would have been able to pick up that kill, he could have been a thorn in the side. But despite a hot start for SGP as they're able to capture B, it looks like all the kills are going in favor of SoundWave, evening up the live count 18 to 18. They got Darkside here playing in blue. He's going to be the player to watch. Let's see if he can make a play.
Yep, Mach making his way towards the outside of the map. Unfortunately, going to get traded out. But, ooh, yeah, not quite going to be able to make anything out of this. This really does go to show how defender-sided of a map this is. SGP Syndicate, these guys are doing such good stuff, but they still can't manage to cap A. Unfortunately for them, they're going to try and use the time that they have left, which is still pretty much a lot, to make a route through the bottom side of the map. It probably will be the last hit that they do have time for of this nature, but it's going pretty good as Rupert finds the control over the middle of the map. All they really have to do is deal with flinched, and they have a free and clear push for map control and the objective.
Yeah, you got number 8. That's Rupert Skywalker playing bottom mid. He's got a gunfight on number 3. That's Jet Kenobi. He's just playing his life here. They are going to get the intel, so the collapse should come down on him. But with 20 seconds and continuing to tick, you got to make a move if you're SGP. Flinch playing this middle of the map. Setup-wise, this looks good here for SoundWave. As a kill for Rupert Skywalker in the backside, might be able to set up the spawn trap. Flinch is going to trade him out. But on this A side, SGP is. We'll see if they're able to close it out.
Oh, they might be able to. Trophy systems down now as well, and they're power burning it. This is going to force SoundWave to get out of their entrenched positions and run into their opponent's head glitches. Jet Kenobi getting on, but not getting much. Flinched and Bufundo trying to save the day at the last second. Can't quite get it. Trying to squeeze out Darksided, and they do stop him just short of the W, but still, oh my goodness, they might still actually have one more opportunity. With careful falling, this is still very much possible. Huge nade from Jet Kenobi saving the day. Otherwise, that was the end of the control. SoundWave still in it with a chance.
Yeah, nail biter there. You saw him get all the kills and almost set up the spawn trap and capture that A site, but ultimately the defense obviously is the preferred side. And they're able to even it up 2-2. We go into a round 5. This has been a really tight series if you're just now tuning in. Down 0-2, SoundWave find themselves, but both of those maps were really winnable for them. You got to be kicking yourself looking back at those, but they're able to push this to a round 5. We'll see if they're able to get a map on the series.
Yeah, something crazy as well I just want to point out is that Jet Kenobi, right as those nades were going down, was just a millisecond away from putting down that trophy system. If he was able to put that down before, just like a millisecond earlier, those nades would have gotten caught and he might have been able to live there and end the game. So definitely coming down to milliseconds here. This game shows you just how close of a game this is. SoundWave on the final attack, not what they want, but they'll do their best with the cards that they're dealt.
Rupert's able to draw first blood there in the bottom middle. He is going to get spotted. No trade just quite yet, but finally kills coming in for SoundWave. Another one for Phantoms. He's going to get traded out as well. So it looks like early control of this B site will be in favor of the defense. Darkside trying to find his way in. Bufundo finally getting something going for this offense. He's been really the playmaker for this SoundWave side of the game. Entry sub. He's been making the plays all series long. Just playing his life here in this B point.
I need a little bit of help, and help he does receive, enough to where he can just one bullet Darkside. And now, Flinched with some good control over the middle of the map, might be able to zone these guys off, but not quite able to stop Rupert Skywalker from getting in the objective. Bufundo doing a pretty good job by himself, though. Unfortunately, not able to do anything with that great position he was given. Bufundo now running out of time. He can only do so much by himself. Does get 2 ticks, but at this point, you're going to need a lot more than that. This is the final round, so we'll see if SoundWave decide to switch things up or if they try to go for the final secure on B.
I think you really have to. I just don't imagine you being able to get 3 ticks over on A. But you got 2 players stacked on this B site. Bufundo trying to entry frag. Gets the pistol out on the ladder. Got one more to deal with. Mach gonna fall. Bufundo with 2. The entry fragger for this team. Picks up 2. He's got one more to deal with in Phantoms. We saw him have this gunfight earlier, and he's gonna lose it once again on Phantoms. The trade will come through with the nade. Trades coming through from both sides. Ultimately, we got one more 1v1. Rupert Skywalker will win that one.
Jack Kenobi knows if there's one more guy inside, because if you know these guys, you know that they call out with names. And so we'll see if Flint can find his final guy on the objective, but avoid the trade out himself. No, he can't. In the meantime, Bufundo trying to be the playmaker, going for a hold-up play on A, because they are really running out of time. Careful in the meantime. Lost some time to win the 1v1, but can't quite get it done up against Phantoms. Mach giving him some assistance on the outside, and it is looking good for SGP Syndicate to close this one out. Starting to really put the screws to their opponents, looking to close this one down, getting deep in the spawns, and Phantoms just screen them off. Jet Kenobi should be able to touch, but is looking like an inevitable victory for SGP unless Jet Kenobi can do something amazing.
Well, he is going to touch this A site and stop the time, but the nades will come through in full force. Saw about 4 or 5 of them go off there. Careful, got to make a play. He is going to get cleaned up, and it looks like this series will be going in favor of SGP Syndicate. What a close series. Every single map was super close, but ultimately SGP will be moving on to our winners semifinals here.
Yes, once again, it will be a 3-0, but I feel like that does not do the series justice. SGP, they were doing really good all game, but SoundWave, they were so close every single map to SGP just by like a little margin. They lost the first map by 12, second map by 2, and this map by a margin of 1. And so, yeah, unfortunately for SoundWave, despite their best efforts, they will be taking a trip down to the losers bracket, and we can see if we can figure out who's going to be in their path here. I'll take a quick look at the bracket. It is going to be...
I'm not sure which round are they getting sent back to. I can take a look at the bracket as well here.
Yes, they will be awaiting the winner of Omit Academy versus Treaty 1, and I do believe they were in the same side of the bracket as Treaty 1, but Treaty 1 lost to KAOS very early on, so they actually did not get to fight each other just yet. That is still a match I'm going to be looking to watch, though, as it's going to be a fight between 2 former teammates, Jet Kenobi and Juju the Don. I know they used to team together a lot, and it'll be interesting to see them potentially on opposite ends of the teams.
Yeah, that is the SoundWave that we were talking about. But let's talk about SGP. This squad is going to be meeting up with Pulse there in the winter semifinals. That's going to be our next match that we're going to see here on stream. We got Noisy, Bink, Flames, and Dak on that squad. That is a top challengers team if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorites to win. Back when Mac was on the roster for SGP, I did just barely have them losing on paper to SGP. But now, I really don't know, dude. I think it could really go either way. I might have to swap between my first and second place predictions here. I got both of them in it. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get set up for that now. Like my friend here said, SGP versus Pulse in the winners semifinals. And so, when we come back from the break, it'll be that. Don't go anywhere.